Alright, last video, or maybe last video. Alright, what's up, guys? It's K Rod here. I'm back with another good video for you guys for today. It is going to be about Tyson Fury, why he will lose his court case against Deontay Wilder, and more lies and exposure is coming out from alternative media, and I'd probably say Deontay Wilder himself, to expose Tyson Fury for Glovegate. Um, so I'm going to give out my thoughts and my point of view on Tyson Fury of what he has been doing to make shameless lies or shameful lies and horrible defenses to say that he didn't cheat against Deontay Wilder, and I'm going to break that down. So Tyson Fury has tried to say to Deontay Wilder, or try to say to the media, to speak out against the possible cheating allegations that Tyson Fury had done to Deontay Wilder were not true. And he tries to say that Deontay Wilder has serious mental issues and he needs to get that checked out, knowing that he doesn't address the cheating that has been done by Tyson Fury, and he doesn't even acknowledge what Deontay Wilder has said about him. Which is really scary because Tyson Fury has a record of cheating, and even though that people have, put him, in the position where he is a cheater, then he doesn't really acknowledge it, and he tries to find a way out of it, knowing that he's not innocent by any means. And it's really funny because Tyson Fury thinks he is going to be innocent, even though that Deontay Wilder has more evidence than he could ever, imagine. And it's already been shown by other professional boxers of why he cheated. And I guess, trainers or whoever, but it's like Fury, he's like, well, excuse my French, even though that this is my channel, but he's fucked. Fury does not have too much of a defense to hold off to. And for the most part, Tyson Fury is just using his hope insurance, I would say, with the commission, with the promoters, and any of the legal manner that would try to exempt him from not trying to get prosecuted, which I find that hard to believe when you kind of think about it. Hopeless fighters or people that have cheated in the past in boxing, they usually do get prosecuted, but it takes a while for that type of evidence to try to come through, which I'm pretty sure, in that legal manner, it shouldn't be that big of a problem to try to get Tyson Fury locked up in prison, if not possibly executed. I would say that should be the proper punishment because you have a record of doing crazy things, and for Fury not to be prosecuted for his possible actions, that kind of speaks volume of why the state needs to go away, especially in athletic sports like boxing, where you could obviously kill somebody just with a simple jab to the face, because not everybody is physically built to take punches a certain way in boxing. So it's just it's just really crazy of how Fury has not been either put in jail or to the sense of been heavily charged with crimes where he has to probably be put on parole or some form of arrest for him doing some crazy stuff. I mean, he's a crackhead overall, so he's already been in the drug business of doing some evil stuff. So for him to just walk away, scot free to do some crazy stuff to Deontay Wilder and other fighters that he's done in the past, Fury does not have too much of a leg to stand on. And I would really hope that Tyson Fury can get violently prosecuted in this manner, and he doesn't really have too much of a defense, even when Deontay Wilder brings all this evidence out to the judge that will review this. But what does Tyson Fury have to say about this? He has to say to Deontay Wilder, oh, Deontay Wilder should stop talking about, this is me paraphrasing it, but Deontay Wilder should stop saying bad things about me and trying to, tarnish like my name, because if he keeps doing that, then I could send him to court and, file a lawsuit for defamation to sue him for at least $100 million, which, you know, I don't know how else I could really say this, but I think Tyson Fury is a mental retard. But Deontay Wilder is bringing you to court. What are you going to do when Deontay Wilder brings all the witnesses, everybody involved, exposes everything out of you and your team, and then when the $1 million questions are asked of, hey, why is your right glove a lot more flappier from the left glove, and why is your knuckle showing out of your right glove from the photos, i.e. John Gerzinski took? Which I believe Tay Jones have took those photos, which I don't know how he's able to do that, especially in a boxing fight. You need to have some form of some form of camera technology to take good shots like that. But I'm going to use John Gerzinski because he is the official, photographer to take those photos. But what are you going to do to protect yourself from those possible allegations? When Fury tries to make the excuse to say, "Oh, that's not true," that's Photoshop, blah blah blah, and that can't, show that I cheated. That looks like some Photoshop image that doesn't even look normal out of me. Like, no, what the judge is going to tell you, please prove to the crowd or to the jury of why or of how you didn't cheat in this moment where your gloves look, or where your right glove looks more tampered than your left glove. And guess what Tyson Fury is going to say? He's going to say absolutely nothing, because you want to know why? If you do not speak the truth when you're up on the stand, and you don't prove to the judge of your possible allegations to not be proven in a court of law, to be proven innocent, because you're innocent until proven guilty, especially in the United States court system, you will be considered guilty. So Fury, he has a lot of defenses that he needs to make for this case, and even if he wasn't to show up, he's going to get prosecuted anyway. Deontay Wilder, if he's not going to get his trilogy, and he has to throw Fury in prison in order to get his revenge, even though that's not what the best revenge to get. Let the best vengeance should be settled with violence done onto the person that that did it to you. Then yeah, go right ahead, get it done. But either way, I just think Wilder, he's already won this case, and Fury, he's trying to deny all the cheating allegations, knowing that he's already lost. But either way, if Wilder does get the trilogy and he forces Fury, well, no, he can't really force Fury to fight him, but if Fury doesn't want to fight him, then Wilder's going to get his belt back, he's going to sue the shit out of Fury, and then he's going to throw Fury in prison. That's really what's going to happen. Hold on, give me 1 second. Alright, I'm back. So, back to what I was saying. It would be nice to try to see where Tyson Fury's legal defense would be on this matter. But I don't really see Tyson Fury really winning this case. I really do see Tyson Fury actually, losing this case really bad. And I think Deontay Wilder is going to thrash him. But the thing is that I think Deontay Wilder really needs to hurt Tyson Fury where it hurts at the most. And he needs to go after everybody. He needs to go after the commission. He needs to go after, the referee, Kenny Bayless. I think Bayless is really the biggest issue out of this whole fight. He should have felt Tyson Fury's gloves from the beginning. And then I would probably go after the WBC president, Mauricio Suleiman. He's definitely going to be up on the stand. I probably go after all of Tyson Fury's team. His trainer, the cut man, everybody, man. I think this is all politically set up in a way where Walter, he could have lost his life, or he could have given, like the best fight of his life, even though that he would have been cheated to try to beat Fury, in the sense of like if he was still taking all those crazy blows and all those illegal punches that everybody saw on TV and saw in person, because I'm pretty sure like guys like Blue Blood Sports TV or whoever was there at the fight, they should have noticed that Wilder wasn't good from the start. And it's really sad because Deontay Wilder, he got very comfortable with thinking Fury was going to give him a good fair fight, and sadly Fury just backstabbed him, man. I don't understand why the fuck Fury would try to do something that evil, but it's like, like I never knew Fury was that type of guy to be a piece of shit cheater, where he would try to get away with some crazy shit like that and try to nearly kill somebody to death, knowing that he's never done that to any other opponent. I probably say that the closest ever would be, or closest person to the rematch with Wilder would probably be Steve Cunningham, where he actually punched Steve Cunningham's throat during the fight, and dude, that was horrible. Like, I mean, that was dirty, but that was horrible. And I'm I'm very surprised that the referee never saw that, because Fury has to be he has to be a worthless cheater in order for him to just keep up, and for him to just do that just shows his character for being such a piece of shit thug, and just an absolute asshole. I don't understand what else to really say other than Fury, he needs to go to jail, or he needs to probably get executed. Because think about it, if he had killed Wilder that night, what do you think ESPN would have said about Wilder? Oh, Deontay Wilder wasn't that good of a boxer, but he should have never got inside the ring with Tyson Fury, because Fury, he has such great power, blah blah blah, and he's such a dangerous opponent. But he never showed that in the first fight. Fury said after the first fight, I almost died in there. Wilder nearly killed Fury with those punches in the 12th round where he knocked him down, or 11th round, I don't know. But Wilder, he literally mauled Fury. He almost came close to knocking him out. And sadly enough, you're going to say to me that I guess that Fury basically took Wilder out fair and square, knowing that Wilder he's never faced anybody at that level where he gets hit by a guy that doesn't have that much punching power, that's actually pillow-fisted, to be honest, and then somehow he just gets brutally beaten, in a rematch with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is not a knockout puncher. Who else has Tyson Fury knocked out? He's never knocked out anybody at that level of caliber to be that type of fighter, to fight at such a high magnitude fight. And to be honest, Wilder is considered one of the most dangerous heavyweights in the current era of boxing. There's no other heavyweight that hits like Wilder. But let me tell you something. I will actually compare Luis Ortiz to be just as dangerous as Deontay Wilder. Luis Ortiz fought Wilder twice. And what did Luis Ortiz do? He was punching Wilder with all the most powerful punches ever that he could give Wilder. And what did Wilder do? He walked through those punches like it was nothing. You mean to tell me that Luis Ortiz is going to KO Wilder, knowing that Wilder was able to basically just walk those punches down? Wilder obviously even said after the first fight with Luis Ortiz, he just basically buzzed me. He never actually hurted me. It buzzed Wilder. That just shows how insane Deontay Wilder can take punishment. And he is just He's literally a Spartan. He's a Spartan mixed with a, ultimate dark warrior. Some warrior that you would think from like Mortal Kombat mixed with, I don't even know, Soul Calibur. Walter is ruthless. But let me tell you something. When did Fury ever get to that level where he's faced a guy that has hit him so bad to the point where he actually can take that type of punishment? He's never dealt with that type of puncher. So for Fury to do that to Walter in the second rematch of their fight of their fight series, that just speaks volume to show that Fury, he's a stinking cheater, man. There is no proof to show that Fury has been a threat to any other heavyweight. Because if he was, he would have been fought Luis Ortiz. He would have been fought Bremain Stavern. He would have been fought all these big name heavyweights that are, up and coming names. And then he probably would have fought Walter a lot earlier, in his prime. But sadly enough, he had to do it, at the peak of his career or beyond the peak of his career, where he's not that good of a fighter. He's not even in his prime, let's just be honest. He's just not that type of guy to actually be a good fighter. But he had to cheat at the biggest level of his career. If you beat Walter fair and square, okay, fine, hats off to you. You actually beat a guy that is actually a very dangerous fighter, but you actually outbox him. Okay, good. But guess what? Fury can't box. He doesn't have any defense. He can get hit. It just takes one hit for Fury to actually, get pummeled, and it would actually make him hurt throughout that fight. And I think Steve Cunningham actually even pointed that out, that Tyson Fury, he's not that big of a, he's not that durable of a fighter to take punishment. He's actually the type of guy to be very pillow-fisted, and he likes to get away from a lot of punishment, which, I understand, boxing is a hit and don't get hit type of sport, but still, Tyson Fury is not that type of guy to actually take that much punishment, from any, type of fighter. And if anything, he's almost like AJ in a way where he has to take steroids in order for his power to show. But then on top of that, he doesn't have that type of tenacity to last against a brutal, heavy-fisted puncher like Deontay Wilder. So it just pretty much shows that Fury, he doesn't have too much of a chance with the big murderous row fighters that actually come out to fight. So for Fury to cheat against Deontay Wilder and actually deny it, knowing that there's mountain loads of evidence, and you actually can't even be honest with yourself as a boxer, that just shows that you're just a really crappy fighter, and you don't have too much of a leg to stand on, because you actually don't care about legacy. You just care about getting a payday, but also screwing other fighters up. So I just purely believe Tyson Fury, he's already lost, but he's just trying to hold on a little bit longer till Wilder actually releases more evidence. And if anything, I really want Wilder to get that trilogy, so that way he could just beat Fury and then just call it even. But if anything, Fury is going to probably get prosecuted once it's all said and done. And I would really hope that could happen, because Wilder, he didn't deserve to get cheated. He really didn't deserve to get cheated at this high level, of competition. Knowing that he came in to both fights fair, and he gave it his best, But it's like, if Fury were to beat Wilder fair and square, then you wouldn't be hearing this from me. But it's like, compared to the other situation that happened recently with Oshik Foster versus Miguel Roman, it's like nobody don't want to talk about that. But, when people talk about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, where all these Fury fans, which I don't even think that they're Fury fans, they're just like a bunch of, dick riding, Deontay Wilder haters that obviously just don't like Wilder because, they're just haters and they're probably racist ass people. I'm not trying to be, exaggerating, to say that, but that's just how people are. These dumb casual ass fans don't understand boxing, so they rather just become a man of the fighter or a fan of the fighter or become like a man fan rather than become like a fan of what the sport. And that's what really makes boxing so unpopular because people use a lot of political ego for boxing, and that's what needs to go. So either way, I think Tyson Fury pretty much knows that that the jig is up, and it would be nice to see Tyson Fury burned to the ground as he should be because he is not the fighter that anyone would think that should be taken seriously. So I think Tyson Fury knows where his limitations are, and Deontay Wilder has a pretty good case to be made. So, all right, that's pretty much what I gotta say. Thank you guys for watching. Please tell me what you guys think about this. Do you think Tyson Fury is going to make it that far in the court of law? And do you think Deontay Wilder is going to get that trilogy match? So I'll see you guys later, and thank you guys for watching. Peace.